In our last episode, we were doing everything we could to try to make some trades. All over the place, we put out feelers. The Mets said no. The Mariners said no thank you. Everybody was saying no to us. We also had a pretty large draft. Sean Vaccaro with our first pick, Chris Nieves with our second pick, and Lee Key with our third pick look to be really huge building blocks. We'll get a chance to see if they really are. We also had an offer come in from the Kansas City Royals trying to make a push towards the playoffs, but we declined it. We start today's episode with Jose Alvarado being our only all-star on the team, ironically enough after the episode he had last episode, and Adolfo Hidalgo is going to take the spotlight to begin today's episode in the 2028 Futures game, opposing Eric Kim of the Las Vegas Aviators. Here's Adolfo Hidalgo, hits one down the third baseline, and that one is a ground into double play with his first at-bat in the Futures game. Not exactly great. Up against Tom Cannon here, another dribbler down to third, and another ground into double play for him. 2 in 3 innings. You hate to see that. Here's Hidalgo now in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is going to be a ground out to shortstop. Hidalgo just did not have a great day at the plate. He was pinch hit for, and no reason to really stick around as the NL Futures get an 8-1 win over the American League Futures. So, not a really great Futures performance, not a great all-star weekend for us, but here playing against the LA Dodgers, a double steal with Nolan Arenado at the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning. Straw and Scott having some good base stealing seasons right now, but Arenado over to the hot corner and he is thrown out. And that is enough for the Dodgers to get out of that jam. Later in the bottom of the 9th, Dominic Canzone trying to get something started. He hits one over the head of a left fielder out there. Canzone will find his way to second. And it's going to be a 2 RBI double for him, but still one behind in the bottom of the 9th. His 7th double of the year, but not going to get the job done. The Dodgers end up winning the ball game 7-6 anyway. Both teams had 11 hits. Eugenio Suarez, now a Dodger, he hit a homer and 2 doubles. And then the Royals go out and make a huge move. They've been trying to make a big move. They get one. Justin Martinez, big closer, and Luis Severino. So a couple arms for them coming in for some C potential, but decent enough players and some youth as well. We get a trade accepted finally as Dante Nori is coming in with Mark Hoffman. A couple of prospects for us. Canzone, Walker on their way out. Phillies think they robbed us in that one. You can tell me what you think. The Red Sox reject a trade, but we do get a trade with the Mariners for Cole Young. I had been trying to work on a big deal for Cole Young all season, and Riku Nushida, Chase Silseth, and Nolan Arenado are the ones that go for him. We have a couple of other trades up on the board, but the Reds do not want to do business. They do not want to bring in Sosa, Urshela, and Shelby Miller, and the Dodgers had bad budget situations. So we sit at 40-68, and now we get to see our draft prospect. Sean Vaccaro ends up an 82 potential. Not what I wanted to see there, but a 66 overall, and he has great power for a third baseman. We got to get that contact up a little bit, get him a little bit better at the plate. Chris Nieves, A potential. Unfortunately, 70 stamina. It's going to be really hard to build up stamina in this game, so we'll see how he does with 91 potential. Lee Key is the best right now at 73 overall. B potential, he's got very good stamina as well, so he should be something for us. Ephraim Martin, we got a little robbed on Ephraim Martin. Only a 53 C potential. He can field, he can run, but he cannot hit. Rich Gary, Gary is a B potential, 95 stamina. I mean, that guy can go throughout games. 60 overall. I'm not upset with that in the 5th round. And then Pablo Lugo, I mean, we're going to need relievers, right? So we have a reliever with 63 stamina. Good long relief guy, Pablo Lugo, will be in the minors. And a lefty, too, so maybe he can put up some decent numbers. Only 77 potential, though, but we got The guys that we got C potentials on, they can rise. They could get into the 80s. Who knows? We'll see. Looking at some of the other guys in our division, Sean Martinez, good player for the A's. He had an alright draft. The Mariners got a guy I would have loved to have. 82 overall B potential, Martin Coronado, power catcher. Would have loved to have a guy like that. The Rangers have a fairly decent draft. The Brewers get a couple of really nice players. Roger Masters at second base, looking really good. And then Alfonso Angeles is an A potential center fielder. Man, why didn't we scout these guys? A couple of misses on our part. Angeles, not the greatest of hitters, but hey, this was my guy. Luis Guzman was my guy. He goes number 2 overall, and it turns out would have had a generational prospect, at least from a hitting standpoint there. 78 overall, 99 potential. That was the guy. Pedro Tavares was my number 2 target, and there he is, 80 overall, B potential. He's a very good hitting catcher, and he can field a little bit. He cannot run, but would have been fun. Mohamed Sexton is an A potential shortstop. Would have been nice to have him. Ryan Clifford is going to be a little bit of a focus here going forward, as he is very close to maybe taking that Rookie of the Year crown. We'll see. As you know, we get a pick if he can place in Rookie of the Year. Looks like we should get a pick for the prospect promotion incentive. But taking on the Baltimore Orioles, Matthew Boyd has not had a good last 6 starts. Let's put it lightly there. 5.12 ERA, 1.5 WHIP in his last 6 starts. Chris Bubich coming over to the Orioles, the former Royal. And here is Clifford out in left field, right field that is, taking a ball, trying to make a throw out, and just not in time, unfortunately. But a good throw. Good throw. Ryan McMahon gets in with a double. Here's Clifford at the plate in the top of the 2nd inning. He's putting this one down the left field line, and that one's going to drop. Single for Ryan Clifford there, doing his part at the plate at the very least. 1-for-1 day. Now bases loaded, and Clifford taking this one into the gap, but it is too high, and that one is going to get caught, but sacrifice fly, that will score a run. 2-1. Ryan Clifford now at the plate in the top of the 7th, gets a base hit into right field. Nice little 2-for-3 day with the sacrifice fly. You love to see it. Gets an RBI on the day. And then here in the top of the 9th, hitting one up the middle, and it is safe. So that is going to go as an error on Jackson Holiday, as the throw was just not good. So a reach on an error there. Cole Young up at the plate with the bases loaded and 2 out. Down 3 runs, and Cole Young hits this one out to right field, but it is caught, and the Orioles will win the ball game. 4-1. Bubich goes to 4-6. Matthew Boyd down to 4-7, and Kyle Bradish's 32nd save. He got a couple of those against us for sure this season. Taking a look, the Cubbies doing really, really well this season. Scorpions at 48-79. Cole Young at the plate. We want to get a little look at our young guy. We just picked him up at the deadline. Cole Young is not having the greatest of seasons, but he's got a very small sample size this year. He had a good last season. So here's Cole Young, and he gives it a slam off of Daniel Palencia. 103 off the bat on the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a 3-run jack for Cole Young, and he is going to get the Scorpions the lead. His 2nd homer of the season only, going 103 off the bat just about. And it's great to see that we can bring in some young talent that we are hoping to cultivate and see it pay dividends right away, just like it did there with Cole Young. Shelby Miller ends up with the win, 6-5 on his season. Palencia, 5 losses. Jeff Hoffman gets his 26th save and a 6-3 Scorpions win. Moving on, the Pirates playing the Scorpions now. Pirates at 500, trying to make a little playoff push, if you will. Lazaro Montez at the plate, only hitting 190 on the season. He has been forced to play due to some injuries, and Lazaro Montez off of Cam Sanders pulls that thing out to right field, and that is deep, baby. 454. It is gone. Give them the walk-off victory. Scorpions win this thing. Pittsburgh is stunned. They cannot believe that they had it. They had the game won, and Lazaro Montez, a 190 hitter for this season, just comes in and jacks one. He is going to have a fun night tonight, that is for sure. 6-5, Scorpions win it. Andrew Nardi ends up with a win. He goes to 6-1 in relief. Cam Sanders goes to 0-1. So taking a look at what else might be important, the Trash Pandas are 4 games behind. They did not win the first half this season like they did last year, so they've got to win the second half if they want to have a chance at sneaking in the postseason. And we're looking at how some of these guys have played. Renteria, 256. He's got 14 homers on the season. A little minor league update for you guys. Nelson Jew, 10 homers, batting over 300. 12 homers for Hidalgo, though the average, not really great, and a lot of these guys' averages, not really fantastic. But Ryan Nicholson has been the catalyst of the team, batting like 327 with 19 dongs. Unfortunately, he's a little dinged up right now. Staples has had a really great season, pitching at a 2.01 ERA. The Salt Lake Bees are currently on top of their division, but the lead is slim, and there are some players playing well here. Satchel Franco, remember, we drafted him at 350 he's hitting. 230 only for Xavier Isaac, but he's got 17 homers. That's pretty huge. Josua Lugo, 239 with 9 home runs. Gabriel Davalillo, now a lot of people like him, 10 homers, but he's only hitting 237 this season. We need him to do a little bit better than that. 274 and 12 dongs for Daniel Pierce. Brandon Jones at 262 and Anthony Skull at 262. We got some guys on the bench, but they are not having great seasons. Rowdy Rodriguez hitting 227 is about the best I can say. As far as the pitching rotation, Finnegan's doing really well, but Gregory Alford at 275, Brett Carey at 282. Tyler Bremner is just, he's been one of the worst, honestly, in our starting stable. As far as the bullpen goes, what I'm really interested in is Eloy Garcia's got a 308, and Paul's actually doing pretty good at closer. We're going to go ahead and take a look here. Eloy Garcia trying to get through the top of the 8th, and he gets a nice little line out, but it's going to end up being a sacrifice. That one brings one in on the tag-up attempt. 3-2 game and lined right down to third to get out of the jam. We end up getting that win. Bees win it 3-2. Douglas Finnegan goes to 11-4 on the season, and Charles Paul with his 35th save of the year. You love to see that. The Bees have had a really good season. They're going to keep trying to have a really good season, and Xavier Isaac puts one into left field. Isaac gets himself at first base. They're going to get a safe as the ball comes out of the catcher's glove there. So a 2-1 lead, and then Josua Lugo comes up. That one is caught, but they're going to attempt to tag this one up. Short little throw, not in time. And the Bees piling it on, getting another clutch dub against the Comets. 3-1. Bees led the series 2-0. Paul with 36 saves. Gregory Alford 3-6 on the season at that point. Taking a check back at the Rocket City Trash Pandas, down 4-3 to the Montgomery Biscuits, and Simon Juan comes up and puts it all the way to the wall. That's going to bring 2 home to take a 5-4 lead in the top of the 8th. Jesse Schulten's going to come in to try to mitigate the bleeding here. 3.09 ERA for him on the season, but Felnin Celestin says, yeah, you're going to give up another hit here, buddy, and not thrown out at the plate, and Celestin goes and takes second base as well, so a 6-4 lead, and then Nelson Jew with a little tapper. He is thrown out at first base to mitigate the damage, but the damage was already done. 6-4, Trash Pandas win. Hitoki Hayashi goes to 3-1. Christopher Ochoa with 37 saves, so a couple of closers really doing a great job in the minors. Marcos Torres in a game against the Chattanooga Lookouts. He is able to beat one out and put 2 on with 1 away for Nelson Jew. He takes this thing out to right field. It is caught, get a tag-up attempt over to third base. Runners on the corners with 2 gone for Ryan Nicholson, the best hitter on the team this season. But unfortunately this time, it's just a routine fly ball, and the Lookouts do get a 5-4 win. Tom Cannon gets the win for the Lookouts. He was in that Futures game. So, 1 game back, and unfortunately, we're not getting options to get in the game. We have got to win every single game here, Rocket City does, in order to make their postseason. Colin Houck comes up in the bottom of the 10th, down a run, and he is able to put that thing all the way up to the wall, get the tie game with an RBI double. His 23rd double of the season. Takes it to the bottom of the 11th. Marcos Torres is here. Chattanooga's got another 1-run lead, and Torres crushes this thing over the center field wall for a 2-run, game-winning walk-off home run. Rocket City remains to fight another day. They do whatever it is that they need to keep the train moving, and the Trash Pandas get to go one more day. As long as they keep winning, they'll keep having a shot. Hayashi again, 4-1 on his season. Now the Lookouts lead the series 3-1. Trash Pandas got to win these last 2 games. Here's the next one. 2-2 game in the top of the 8th inning. Mikey Escalona has had his issues on this team for these couple of seasons, but there he gets the fly out. But it doesn't matter, as the Chattanooga Lookouts are able to win 8-2. How did we give up 6 in the 9th? Oh boy. So that is going to be it for the Trash Pandas. The Bees are up 3 games with 3 to play. They gotta win, so that's gonna do it. The Bees have finished the season at 81-69, nice, and they will make the postseason. The Trash Pandas finish 1 game below 500. They will not make the postseason. Here's game 1 of the Bees postseason. 6-6 game in the bottom of the 10th. Right back at the pitcher. Thrown on to first to end the 10th inning. But when we go ahead and hit that simulate again, it's a walk-off for the Express. And the Express take game number 1. Just disheartening. 8-6. Must have been a 2-run shot walk-off, but look at all those hits. I mean, 28 hits between the 2 teams. Unfortunately, we don't get a chance to jump into the second game, and the Bees get eliminated from the playoffs by the Express. So we're going to check out the end of the season here for the Scorpions. Gio Urshela up at the plate in the bottom of the 9th, down 1-0 against the Rangers, and he gets it all the way into the little corner piece out in right center field. It is just too perfect. Scores an RBI double and leaves him on for Daniel Susak, who gets a good piece of a low outside fastball and takes it over the wall at 411 feet. Walk off against the Texas Rangers. This is going to be significant. Why? The Texas Rangers are in the midst of fighting for a playoff spot in our division as a rival, and the Scorpions are out here playing spoiler. The Spoilerpins, maybe. I don't know. Probably a bad analogy there, but Raisel Iglesias ends up with the loss. Elmer Rodriguez gets the win. The Scorpions do not make the playoffs at 68-94, which is some improvement over their 59-103 inaugural season. The Red Sox won the AL East by a game over the Blue Jays, who made a wild card, and 2 over the Rays, who also snuck in. The Royals won 103 games, blowing away the Central. The A's won the West, while the Mariners took the top wild card spot. In the NL, the Phils won the East over the Mets in a tiebreaker, with the Braves getting a wild card spot. The Cubs won the Central by 13 games, and the Dodgers won the West easily, as the Padres were able to sneak in at 81-81. Victor Scott ended up finishing second in the NL in stolen bases with 41. In the American League, Yordan Alvarez won MVP with 61 dongs. Cole Ragans won the Cy Young. Bobby Witt Jr. won the batting title. Dennis Santana won Reliever of the Year. A lot of saves, oh boy. Ryan Clifford edged out Rookie of the Year for our Scorpions. That should do well with the prospect promotion incentive. And Bobby Witt gets the Hank Aaron Award. In the National League, Pete Alonso won MVP with 50 homers for the Dodgers. Ew. Christopher Sanchez won the Cy Young. Brandon Nimmo wins the batting title. Justin Slayton, not gonna lie, I never heard of him, wins Reliever of the Year. Nate McLeod wins Rookie of the Year, and Kyle Tucker wins the Hank Aaron Award. AL Gold Glovers are Max Fried at pitcher, Austin Wells at catcher, Vladdy Daddy at first base, Nico Horner at second, Carlos Correa at third, Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop, Tyler Soderbaum in left, our very own Victor Scott at center field with a Gold Glove, good for him, and Wilyer Abreu at right. In the NL, it was Brad Lord at pitcher, Patrick Bailey at catcher, Wilson Contreras at first, Ketel Marte at second, Graham Pauley at third, Ezequiel Tovar at short, Taylor Ward in left, Jacob Young in center, and Fernando Tatis Jr. in right. AL Silver Sluggers were Brent Rooker at DH, Yainer Diaz at catcher, Nick Kurtz at first, Nico Horner at second, Junior Caminero at third, Bobby Witt at short, and in the outfield it was Yordan Alvarez, Byron Buxton, and Jarren Duran. For the NL, it was Kyle Schwarber at DH, Will Smith at catcher, Pete Alonso at first, Jazz Chisholm at second, you like Jazz? J. Ram at third, Frankie Lindor at short, and in the outfield it was Kyle Tucker, Juan Soto, and Taylor Ward. Who would take the World Series crown? The Seattle Mariners in 5 games over the Chicago Cubs is your answer on that one. Another offseason is upon us. Something tells me this team is ready for a real shift in the right direction. Are you ready for this team to really make the necessary moves to maybe bring that youth along and see what they can do? Let's find out in the next episode.